On all of Earth, there are millions of different species. Some of them have gone extinct, and some you can still see today. Among those millions of species are hybrids, which are a mix of two different species. While some of them can be extremely rare, and some you can see in a zoo, they are very fascinating creatures. And in today's video, we'll be going over some hybrids you may have never known existed. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on, so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. First up, we have Ligers. Just as many may suspect, this hybrid is the result of breeding a male lion to a female tiger. However, Ligers are not the same as a Tigon, which is the result of breeding a male tiger into a female lion. Since lions and tigers do not exist in the same areas, this isn't something that would happen in the wild. This breeding between such animals is done in captivity. The overall appearance of Ligers can be described as faintly striped with a shaggy mane. Being the result of a lion and tiger, these cats have the ability to both roar like lions and chuff like tigers, which is a supposedly affectionate sound that falls somewhere between a purr and a raspberry. They can average at a weight of about 1,000 pounds each, and can typically devour 50 pounds of raw meat in a meal. However, sadly enough, a lot of these creatures suffer from many birth defects, and usually die at a very young age. The longest living liger to be recorded was named Shasta. She was born on May 6th in 1948 at Hoggle Zoo in Utah, and died on July 19th in 1972 at the age of 24 years old. Next, we have another hybrid that's part lion, which is also known as a jag lion. Also referred to as a jaguan, the jag lion is the blend of, yet again, two big cats, a female lion and a male jaguar. Both of these species belong to the genus Panthera, and their genetics aren't too far off. While it's not too surprising that they're able to mate, they are extremely rare. As a matter of fact, before the 21st century, there hadn't been any record of such a cross being made, despite experiments in crossbreeding lions, leopards, and tigers. Now, what do these rare cats look like? Well, any big cat that has spots is most likely to pass it on to their offspring, and that's just the case for the jag lion, as the jaguar father passes his spots down to his cub, although the cub's spots won't be as distinct as its father's. The father also could pass his all-black coloring on to his offspring as well. However, unlike his lion ancestors, a male jag lion will not grow a mane, and while this hybrid may seem terrifying to some, the photos of jag lions give the impression of a big, gentle cat who likes to stroll around in their enclosure just like your average house cat. The siblings even like to cuddle together. Up next, we have a geep. This hybrid was first discovered by a shepherd in northern Germany, who one day found a rare crossbreed among his flock. The way he described it was that it looked like a goat but had the mentality of a sheep. The animal is the product of a billy goat that happened to tag along with one of the shepherd's 250 Lane Ewe breeds. The shepherd stated that he was in shock when he saw the geep for the first time, despite seeing the billy goat go after the female sheep once in a while. But an interesting thing about this hybrid is that even though it's like a sheep mentally, when it bleats, it sounds like a goat. Even though sheep and goats belong to the same caprine subfamily, experts say that the crossbreed is extremely rare since they have a different set of chromosomes. While goats have 60 chromosomes, sheep only have 54. However, after taking several blood samples at the farm, researchers scientifically confirmed the existence of the cross and say that the animal is currently most likely one of its kind worldwide, as the offspring of goat and sheep pairings are usually stillborn. The next hybrid we'll be discussing is the Grolar Bear. Grolar bears, which are sometimes called Pizzly bears, are the result of polar bears and brown bears breeding. This animal was first discovered in the wild in 2006, when a hunter in Canada killed a bear with white fur and brown patches, as well as a humped back and long claws, which are a characteristic of a grizzly bear. DNA testing then later confirmed that the bear was a hybrid. Since then, sightings of Grolar bears in the wild have become more common, which is to be expected as a result of the current climate crisis. As a matter of fact, polar bears and grizzly bears have been observed near whale carcasses, prompting them to engage in opportunistic mating. But it will take time and additional research to know how well suited these hybrids are to survival. The fifth animal on this list is the wholphin. Kekaimalu, the world's first known surviving wholphin, was born as a result from a male false killer whale and a female bottlenose dolphin. Despite its name, a false killer whale is is a species of dolphin and is in fact the world's third largest species of oceanic dolphins. On the other hand, bottlenose dolphins are actually the most common types of dolphins on the planet. Although scientists know the false killer whales and bottlenose dolphins swim together in the open ocean, mating among these dolphin species was rare at the time of Kikaimalu's birth. The features of the wholphin fit both species of animals perfectly. Her head resembles a false killer whale, but the tip of the nose and her fins look like a dolphin's. However, her coloring is darker than a dolphin's. While some were concerned that her life would present complications, Kikaimalu turned into a full-grown wholphin. Then, in 2004, she herself gave birth to a female wholphin calf. She then went on to have 2 more calves later on, making a total of 3 baby wholphins. These hybrids are rare for sure, but hybrid animals are becoming more commonplace as captive animals follow their natural instincts. Even more amazing, hybrids are showing up in the wild, with some researchers reporting wholphins across the oceans. Following wholphins is the beefalo. This hybrid is a cross between a bison and any breed of domestic cattle. Beefalo are a complex cattle breed that were developed in the United States during the early 1970s. While interbreeding bison and cattle has been accomplished for some years, the cross has often experienced poor fertility. Beefalo were extremely popular during the 1970s, but fell out of favor primarily due to arguments over proving their bison content. Blood testing during the early years of beefalos was inexact. It wasn't until the establishment of DNA testing in the 1990s that the breed was clearly established as having documented bison content. Beefalo calves are born small, but grow very fast. They can vary greatly in appearance but generally have large frames and are well muscled, which is similar in the build of a bison. One similarity most of these animals share is their unique coat, with it being very dense and made up of fine hair. It enables them to adapt to colder climates, but as what may have come to a shock to some, beefalos are actually very docile in nature. Yet another hybrid mix on our list that includes a lion is the lepon. The lepon is the hybrid offspring of a male leopard and a female lion. The head of the species is identical to that of the lion, while the rest of the body has similarities to that of leopards. One of the fascinating things about the lepons is that, unlike the lions, they are good climbers. They often love warmth, which sometimes can bother their lion mothers. They've got brown, not black spots and have tufted tails. Lepons are large animals, almost the size of a lion, with stout bodies. But like leopards, their legs are shorter. The males of these animals may have a sparse mane of about 20 centimeters long. However, with these hybrids not being likely to occur in the wild, they are usually found and kept in captivity, although there has apparently been some evidence of this hybridization occurring in the wild. The evidence was only the skin and probable skull, which is in the British Museum of Natural History and was filmed back in 1931. Last on this list of hybrids is the narluga, which is from the breeding of a narwhal and beluga. These 2 species have always shared the waters of the Arctic, swimming peacefully in their respective groups. The animals, which are both similarly sized whales, will occasionally adopt each other into their groups, and sometimes, as it turns out, they'll even have babies together. That's why one day, a group of Inuit hunters catching their dinner was surprised when they killed a group of 3 animals that looked like no whale they had ever seen before, with gray skin, forward-pointing teeth, and a mixture of other body parts. With this crazy event happening back in the 1980s, one of the hunters kept one of the skulls in his shed. Later on, a scientist examined the skull and suggested that it might have been a hybrid of the 2 whales. That theory was based on the interesting shapes of the skull and teeth that seemed to be at once both like a narwhal and like a beluga's. Since then, DNA sequencing has improved greatly, and in 2019, scientists reached the verdict that the animal's mother was a narwhal and its father was a beluga. This, in turn, made the narluga. Strange as the narluga may seem, it is only the most recent in a long line of known couplings between different species of whales and dolphins. A 2016 study found reports of nearly 20 such hybrids, only 7 of which occurred in captivity. With that said, that's going to wrap up this video. Did any of these hybrids shock you? Let us know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.